everyone, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to share a recipe for fried crab, and I did it two ways. Growing up, my mom used to always make fried crab for us. This is done with the soft shell or the Ciric crab. So I'm going to show you two ways how to do it, and I hope you enjoy. So over here I have some blue swimming crabs, and these are the soft shell crabs that we're going to use to fry. You can't use the mangrove crabs because those are really hard, and you'll probably have to go to the dentist when you bite into one of those. So I got these pre-cleaned already. Usually when I buy them fresh, they come with everything, like the back and the guts and everything. Because I didn't have any time today to clean crab, I actually just bought them pre-cleaned already, and what they did was they cleaned out the guts. I still had to do some extra cleaning, but basically you want to make sure everything's white in there, or cream. You don't want any extra yellow or red organs or anything in there. So what I like to do is cut off this tip, the sharp tip at the gundy or the claw, and I like to cut off the swimming legs here and the tip, these pointy tips, pointy legs. So that's how I'll be cleaning it. And then you see these pointy protrusions here. This tends to cut you when you're eating, so you want to get that out too. So what you want to do is get a sharp scissors. This is not that sharp, but I got this at the dollar store. But yeah, it does the job. You just have to know how to place the scissors, and you just cut it. And any little extra hair on the crab, you want to just cut that off, or you can take a knife and just scrape it. Let me show you. So let me just show you an example. I'm gonna cut this part off, but let me show you how you can do it. You take the knife like this and you go back and forth, and that scrapes the hair off. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cut off this swimming claw here. I like to cut from here. And then you're left with a big chunk of meat here. Not a lot of meat, but there is some. And then I cut from here. You can do higher up here, but I like to do it from here. Higher up, you don't really get that much meat. Now I'm gonna see if this scissors is gonna cut off the tip. If your scissors is not strong enough to cut off the tips of the gundy, then you can just chop it with a Chinese chopper or cutlass. The other thing I like doing is just going in and scraping out any excess hair. When I clean crab, I'm very meticulous. I have to clean it really properly. But this looks good there. I'm gonna finish cleaning it up, and then I'll wash it with some lime or lemon, and it'll be ready to be seasoned and fried. I'm gonna make my green seasoning, and this is just a basic Caribbean green seasoning. So I'm adding some garlic, a hot pepper, 2 pimento peppers, and these are just seasoning peppers or mild peppers. But if you didn't want any heat at all, you can omit the hot pepper. And just make sure you check those seasoning peppers, because sometimes you can get some hot ones. And I'm also adding some Bandhania, Shadon, Beni, Culantro or Recao. If you can't find this where you live, you can use some cilantro. You can also add a variety of other herbs. Whatever you like to add, you can add that and make your own green seasoning. So all I'm gonna do is add this to my mortar and pestle and make somewhat of a chunky paste. When my mom makes her fried crab, she grinds all her seasonings on the sill, and she uses the lorha to grind the herbs and the peppers into a nice chunky seasoning. So you can do this in a blender or a mini chopper, whatever you like to use, but I just love the chunkiness of the seasoning when you do it on the sill. So I find that this granite mortar and pestle tends to do the job just like the sill and loraha. So once your green seasoning is made, it's time to season up the crab. And the first thing I'm gonna go in with is some salt, and I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon pepper. The lemon tends to cut the very fishy kind of scent and flavor. And I'm adding a little bit of Cajun seasoning. And lastly, you want to go in with that green seasoning and then give it a good mix. So I like to take some of the chunks of seasoning and stuff it into the belly of the crab, because you know when you clean out the crab, there's that little indentation in the belly that you can stuff seasonings into. So take full advantage of that. So once those crabs are seasoned up well, now you're just gonna put it into your fridge and let it sit and marinate for a little while. You don't have to leave it too long. I'm just gonna leave mine for about an hour, and then we'll come back and fry it. So in this bowl I have some flour and some Cajun seasoning. It's just gonna be very basic, so I'm just gonna mix that in. So once you have your flour mixture, you can dip your crab into eggs or milk. I'm just gonna do it dry. My mom says this is how she does it. She just does plain flour. I just added the Cajun seasoning for extra kick. So you're just gonna dredge that in the flour. See how it sticks to the crab? And then you're gonna place this in the hot oil. So I just added 3 crabs to start off with, and I'll let them cook for about 4 minutes. I'm gonna take these out. You can also do this. If you want a thicker batter, you can dip it in flour first, then dip it in some egg, and dip it in some flour again. So let me show you how these look with the egg. So here's what I'm gonna use to make the sauce to go with the fried crab. I have some green seasoning, ketchup, some honey, and I'm gonna add a little bit of soy sauce. Gonna add a little bit of salt. So instead of the honey, you can add some sugar. And if you want to thin it out a little bit, you could add some water. So let's do the taste test. Soft shell crabs were one of the snacks that I really looked forward to when I was younger. When my brothers went to catch crab and they came home, they'd come with a variety of sizes and different types of crab, and my mom would just season up these Ciric crabs or soft shell blue crabs, and she'd fry it, and it made for the perfect appetizer or cutters. It was so delicious, and I mentioned this on one of my old talks on Saturday evening, and a lot of you requested the recipe. I also posted a picture on Instagram and a few of you requested it. This is part 1 to a 2-video series. Part 1 includes how I use frozen Ciric crabs. I've never tried the frozen one before, but now that I've tried it and I compared having it with fresh Ciric crabs and having it with frozen, I think that when it's fresh, you tend to get a softer shell. So it's much easier to crunch and to bite into the crab, as opposed to if it sits in the freezer, the shell tends to get hard on you and it's not as soft as you'd expect it to be. So I'm still going to share the video, and I just wanted to share it for those of you who don't have access to the fresh crab. You can still utilize this recipe and it'll be delicious. So I hope the recipe was really easy to follow. I did somewhat of a unique recipe here. I did like a bacon shark, but I made a bacon fried crab instead. So I'm gonna bite into this. So this tastes amazing. I love bacon shrimp more than bacon shark. And I think now I like bacon crab more than bacon shrimp. Let me dip one of these. That is so good. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Be sure to give the recipe a try. Leave me all your comments below. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.